people who are constantly staring at their phones at the dinner table. So my favorite thing about crosswords is that now, like, it has become sort of, it started out as a hobby for me when I was teaching, and now it is my job. But it's also something that I've been able to share with my whole family, which is like pretty great. So we all came to the ACBT. My wife Caroline is a judge. My kids were all runners. It's like they love it. It's their favorite weekend. They get to come to this place and hang out with all these like super friendly, super nice, awesome people, and then like just have a great time, like nerding out about puzzles, and or just hanging out in the lobby and playing silly games and talking with people. And so that is an experience that I had been having for many years without bringing my family along. Although Caroline had been coming for a while, and we used to leave the kids at the grandparents' house and like just make a getaway of it for the weekend. But now like the whole plan is part of the part of the industry. I think it's really kind of gratifying. Like I love that I've been able to sort of pass on the love of puzzles and other people to.
Do many of them like to solve and or make yet?
They do like to solve, and actually, I was feeling a little bit like a derelict crossword dad, because like a couple months ago when like Byron Walden's kid Harrison had a byline in the Times, and he's 12, and and Ben Tausig's kid had a byline the same week at, was it LA Times? I was like, well, why have my kids not published them? So they've not yet shown much necessarily interest in constructing. Maybe Aaliyah, the youngest one, she's 12, but not yet really ready for 15 by 15s.
Let me start them out. Just like leave some minis out.
Yeah.
Kate, how about you?
Okay, I have something, but you have to tell me if I've already told the story, because I'm afraid that I might have already told it. But I have worked on a project a couple of times with a team at the Brooklyn Public Library called the Justice Initiatives, and they provide services for incarcerated and recently incarcerated readers in Brooklyn. So like oftentimes people who are re-entering the communities, and they also operate libraries in like Rikers and other city jails and state prisons. And I have worked with them a couple of times to create an all puzzles zine that they distribute in New York City jails and New York state prisons. It's been just maybe the best thing that I've ever done in my life. I have just reached out to like a bunch of constructors that I know, and people have donated puzzles, and I just combine them into a pack of like 30 word searches and variety puzzles and crosswords. In the second one, I included a section on how to make crosswords, and the reason that I did that is to do with the memory that I'm going to share, which is that after the first zine was released, the Justice Initiative teams got a lot of like mail from incarcerated readers who had solved the zine and liked it. But the one that really touched me the most was someone who made their own crossword and sent it in to the library. And I just like can barely talk about it without getting emotional, but it was just really like special to think that someone had been, moved to do that. So that was really special. So in the second scene, and I reached out to Patrick Berry, who obviously wrote the crossword construction manual, and I said, Patrick, is it okay if I sort of like crib your language on how to make a crossword by hand? Because I've never done it before, and if I'm going to write a chapter on how to make a crossword, it needs to be accessible to people who don't have regular access to computers. And he very nicely was like, copy whatever you want. So I'm really excited to see with the second zine, which is just now being printed, like if there are even more submissions of crosswords that the library gets. So we'll see how that goes. But that was a really special memory for me.
That's amazing.
And I don't think you've shared that before, because that was very memorable.
Okay, good. It would have been awkward if you were like, ooh, I know this one.
Yeah, we've already heard it.
I'm glad I got to tell that story then for the first time.
I hope number 2 goes very well.
Yeah, I'll keep you all posted.
Yes. Yes. Well, June and Kate, I mean, again, as I said, two of the best people in the cross world. Just together, it feels so special to have you both on. So, June, thank you for your fabulous puzzle, and Kate, as always, thank you for solving. And best of luck with Westwards this summer.
Thank you. Yeah, go to westwardsbestwords.com.
All
So
right,
good
y'all.
to see you both.
You too.
Have a great night.
Take care.
Bye.
Hello, Andrew. Thank you to June for a lovely puzzle. Such a great grid shape and flow. Really impressive grid and all the cluing and all the different levels. There are a lot of fun things in there. And obviously, June, very experienced, and Brad, I know, enjoyed editing his clues because there wasn't as much editing maybe as usual because June is such a veteran. Thank you to Kate for appearing and a little bit on short notice as well. And again, she has been a feature solver with us before long ago. And thanks to Ben Zimmer for once again bringing by his expertise and sharing some things. I do want to just say about Westwards as well. We are involved. Kate and Kate Chimpark and Rebecca Goldstein are really the editors of the puzzles, but I am a part of registering people and also running the online tournament from Berkeley. So I'll be going out there with my kids later in June and look forward to being out there again as last year. So if you like the online and that's all you can do and you can't show up in person, we will be running that online as well. And you can sign up now, later. You've got 8 weeks or so, but we'd love to see you on that broadcast in late June. Anything else, Andrew, tonight?
No, that was great fun. Those were great stories to finish off the night.
Yes. And thank you, Andrew, for shepherding another round of featured solvers. That was our last featured solver of the year. So thank you for doing that. And also, yes, go ahead.
I was going to add, because Kate and I talked about this, because this was on that short notice. I feel like one time, if you're short, I might be your pinch hitter. If I haven't looked at the puzzle yet, just give it a go.
You could be the featured solver?
I'll put my, I mean, Kate said she put her neck on the line. I feel like, you know what? People just need to see, can this guy even solve one of these puzzles?
Or is he just a really good interviewer?
That's right.
Yes, we could do that, and we also we'll have people on for this interview. We will have again the top 3 choppy pairs, and no secret that it will be Christina Iverson joining us next Monday night to talk about her lovely puzzle that you all get to do next week. So that's about 10:08 right now. That's enough for tonight, and we will see you next Monday night. Take care, everyone.
And with that, the entertainment value drops precipitously. Another great one from our friends over at Bosswords. And welcome whoever is rolling in here from Bosswords. It's just a crosswording night. Great job, June Pak, on what was clearly a well-received crossword at Bosswords tonight. I wouldn't know, not having done the Bosswords puzzles yet. Look forward to doing them, but between work and travel, I knew it was going to be a tough semester for me. So what can I say? Big fan of June Pak, and I look forward to doing his puzzle. I'm waiting for someone in the chat to say, Ben, you're muted, but miraculously, I think I'm not. But speaking of Ben's with cameras and mics on, let's get one in here who is the star of tonight's show, Ben Zimmer. Please join me. How are you, Benjamin?
Hello, I'm back. I'm back again in case you didn't get enough of me from the Bossword stream.
I love that. You are everywhere. Congratulations on another successful, is Ben's Word Corner? Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, Andrew came up with that name and we're like, yeah, let's just call it that, Ben's Word Corner. So, and you know, good as anything.
Yeah, it was
It's
great.
been
I
fun to
decided
do.
I'm sorry, say it again.
No, it's just been a lot of fun to do. I mean, this is the second season of Bosswords where I've come on just to, you know, do these word wrap ups of, basically 4 puzzles at a time, and it's worked out nicely.
Yeah, your stuff is great. I mean, there are all these like linguistic roots to so many of these terms. I mean, I don't even want to say any of them because maybe people haven't solved. I took the hit for, I wanted to like keep that boss words purity so that I could do all of the puzzles after the season when I had more time. But I love your work so much that I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that. So now I just have to try to forget what I've seen and certainly forget the Stormy clue. I enjoy your lecture or your explanation, but I don't know that I retain it like long term, so
Well, that
I
works out. So, you won't get spoiled for future
yeah,
stuff.
like semi forget the words. But the one thing I remember is that I always enjoy it. And you and John and Andrew have such a nice rapport. And they do such a good job. It's just warm feelings all the way around. And June, I went to solve a June Pak New York Times puzzle recently. I forget, maybe I was like celebrating that's what it was, the Bosswords Constructor by streaming their puzzles.
Right.
And there hasn't been a June Pak puzzle in the crossword puzzle in the New York Times forever, I guess, because he's
Yeah.
doing outside the box. Is that it?
Yeah, I think he may have mentioned on the stream that it's been a while since he's done like just a regular old crossword because he's so busy doing rose gardens and other things for outside the box. So yeah, we need more June puzzles out there because they're always so delightful.
Yeah, I mean, everyone makes choices. He's chosen to raise children. I mean, doesn't he know that I enjoy his themeless crossword puzzles? But no, June is the greatest. Enjoyed seeing him at the ACPT. I think I got more POC time with the other POCs as they kind of ran around the
Yes,
judging.
a pack of pucks. Yes.
Yeah, a pack of POCs even.
Yeah, well, it's great too because over the past few years, although my son Blake wasn't there as a runner this year because he's off at college, and there were other cousins of his, and Blake and his cousins have kind of grown up with the POC kids as runners pretty much since the pandemic, since we started, coming back to ACBT. So it's just great seeing them all hanging out and getting along. And now this year we had like young Harrison Walden, Byron Walden's kid, and Oscar Simmet, Brian Simmet's kid. So we're getting the next generation, Gen Alpha, moving up.
Amazing. Yeah, um, yeah, you watch these kids like grow up. I mean, this is only my third year judging, so I can't be like, oh, I remember when this kid was this, but I certainly remember when Blake Zimmer was there, and now he's like he's like a man, not a boy. It's crazy.
It's
Um,
scary. Yeah.
yeah. All right. So Boswords. I got a couple things I want to talk about before we jump into your puzzles.
Yeah.
Plural. I mean, you're not just on every Zoom. You're like in every publication. It's crazy.
Keeping busy.
You did an interesting thing this weekend. You ran down to Washington, D.C. I could talk about it more, but not as well as you. So what was that all about?
Yeah, so the North American School Scrabble Championship was going on in Washington, D.C. this past weekend. So that's where you have middle schoolers and high schoolers competing for a Scrabble tournament. And Stefan Fatsis is the organizer of it. He works with a group of organizers, and they do it at Planet Word, great venue in Washington, D.C., language museum that I'm happy to be on the advisory board for. But check out Planet Word. They have these great, it's a museum, but then they also they open it up for wordy events, and so they've been hosting the School Scrabble Championship. As part of the program, I gave a talk because basically the kids are on one floor of Planet Word, playing Scrabble, and the parents need to be entertained. So they have like a live stream going of like the featured match. Actually, Stefan's daughter, Chloe Fatsis, who is now graduating from Brown University, and is one of the top Scrabble players in the country. She was one of the co-MCs for the live stream along with Will Anderson, and so they would have that going, but then they also had as part of the program, they Stefan invited me to give a talk. And so I did that, and it was also open to whoever was coming through Planet Word on Saturday. They could like come into the auditorium and hear me talk if they wanted to. So I gave a talk about a century of wordplay from 1925 to 2025, talking about how sort of word games, word puzzles, word contests, because I include the spelling bee as part of this whole trend over the past century, because the Scripps National Spelling Bee, which I work as, one of the officials and judge and strategist for the spelling bee. They're celebrating their 100th anniversary, and then we're also having the 100th anniversary of the crossword craze, because the crossword hit it big in 24, 25. The craze really peaked in 1925. So basically, it was just an excuse to share all this fun historical stuff about how all of this was happening in 1925, and you can really trace everything that's happened since then in the world of word games, word puzzles, word contests from that moment, including Scrabble, because Scrabble started off as like this guy, Alfred Butts, some out of work architect who wanted to make like a game out of crosswords after crosswords became a big deal 100 years ago. Anyway, so it was a fun talk. I'm going to be giving another version of that talk when the 100th National Spelling Bee happens and we get all the finalists together for Bee Week. There's about 250 kids from around the country come for that. And I'm part of the program for that as well. Well, I'll be giving another version of the same talk.
Without you, there is no program. Bee Week. Wow.
Bee Week. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, yeah.
It's
I
so
enjoy it every year.
So you just said the crossword peaked in 1925, and the New Yorker magazine started in 1925. But instead of jumping on the crossword, they waited like 97 years or something to get with the program.
And of course, the New York Times waited 20 years or, almost that length of time before they deigned to run a crossword. So
did February of 1942, responsive to the Pearl Harbor invasion in December of 41.
Yeah.
Benjamin, where do we go from here? Oh, you COQL. Any thoughts on that before I jump into your crosswords?
Oh boy, yeah, we're so yes, the two Bens here are on a team for the Connections Online Quiz League, the league that we have that emulates the experience of being on the British quiz show Only Connect, which has been a lot of fun. And our team has had an amazing season. We've somehow qualified for the playoffs for the top 8 teams, and it's a little scary, like looking at the prospects of who we are playing in the playoffs. A lot of our crossword friends, in fact, of course, Paolo's team, and there's some other crossworders who are up there in the top ranks, of course. So yeah, it's scary, but our first time actually being in the playoffs, but it's been pretty cool.
I've been so detached isn't the word, just oblivious to the broader structure of the league that I didn't even know whether we had ever been in the playoffs before or not.
Well, they always have like placement games after the season just to be like, are you going to be finish in 32nd or 33rd place overall? But yeah, you have to be like in the top 8 to sort of to qualify for the playoffs, and yeah, first time for us.
There's no lower down playoff like akin to like a B or a C.
Oh,
like the
oh yeah, I guess maybe there is. I don't know. But yeah, in any case, this is our first experience with any of that.
I knew enough to know that we had never been in the top 8 teams of the league, because never come close, never come within.
Yeah, we had an amazing streak where things were going well, but it may all come crashing down very soon.
Yeah, exactly right. Oh, so our friend Ravenite in the chat, thank you, Ravenite. Where, as he points out, he said he's rooting for us against Palante.
Oh my God! Yeah, so the team that we have to play is Palante, which is Yogesh Raut and Matt Jones and Patrick Friel, who are insane. I mean, Yogesh is going to be on the Jeopardy Masters or whatever on Wednesday night. And it's like, yeah, okay, great. So that's our competition now.
Well, yeah, it was an honor merely to be nominated. And speaking of our friends, you mentioned so I think Paulo Pasco's team and Dave Harris's team are squaring off, and both of those guys and the three of you are like my most 3 frequent guests on the only Connect games that we play on this stream, which is like crazy. Everyone's like, I'm so proud of you boys. You're doing so well.
Yeah, it was also great to see a Wonka Quizzion, which is Mark Halpin and Dan Katz. Their team was also qualified. So lots of our old pals are there.
It's great. It's great. So much more COQL. Everybody is waiting for I mean, everybody's here because of you. Everybody's here in spite of me. People want to see your puzzles. People certainly don't want to see my face, much less hear my voice. Maybe it's crossword o'clock. Actually, one more thing I wanted to mention. Speaking of our friends who have played Only Connect on my stream, our friend AJ Jacobs, as you know, has a puzzle podcast called The Puzzler. He wrote a best-selling book called The Puzzler. I actually gave AJ some material for his book, some rejected New York Times cryptograms, but Will Shortz's loss was AJ's gain. And he was nice enough to invite. So he started this podcast called The Puzzler as sort of an outgrowth or continuation of his newfound interest in puzzles from his book. So I mentioned this because I was lucky enough to be a guest on AJ's podcast a few days ago. I mean, that I am like by far the least famous person who has been on AJ's show. I mean, like a lot of great writers and comedians and pundit types and anyway, so thanks AJ for having me on. It was so much fun. I have another, I think, episode coming out at some point.
Oh, there's more. Great. Yeah, I just dropped the link in for the one.
Oh, thanks a lot. Link in chat. Yeah, I mean, it's so I taped 2 episodes with AJ, which I mean, it's like the Michael Lee and Blacks do 4 of them. And like, I was thrilled that the Ben Basses did more than 1. You know, there's almost a pecking order of like frequency and how many like shots you get. So it was, I would have been thrilled with just 1 episode, honestly. It was so much fun. But anyway, yeah, check that out next time you're looking for a podcast. But hey, next time you're looking for a crossword, is anyone other than you and June Pak even constructing puzzles these days? You guys are everywhere. All right, so Ben, let's see. Okay, so the Saturday Stumper, for those who don't know, is these, I think, kind of the consensus most difficult newspaper crossword in the country. The New York Times gets harder every day, as do other publications, New York Newsday among them, but I think their puzzle tends to be a little easier than the New York Times. But then on Saturday, it like takes this leap and it really is harder than a New York Times Saturday. Is that a fair summation?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, if you want to get something at that level, otherwise you'd have to go to an indie blog. You'd have to find a Brooke Husick or Tim Croce or something to measure up to the difficulty level.
Speaking of Tim Croce, that guy just dropped his 1000th puzzle on his amazing blog, Club 72. And tonight will not be the night. But sometime soon I will celebrate Tim, who I've never met or even talked to, by tackling maybe the 1000th one would probably be the way to go. But for those of you who, like me, like a hard puzzle, I'm afraid to type club72.wordpress.com into the chat box in case that's wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's like the address. Okay, but closer to home here, Ben, so you wrote the latest Saturday Stumper. Your puzzle hit the newspaper on Saturday. For those dozens of people still getting an actual newspaper, it was on their doorsteps, whatever. But yeah,
over Long Island or whoever
exactly.
Newsday, yeah.
Right. Tribune newspaper, or at least it was for a long time, Long Island's answer to New York Newsday. So congratulations on the Stumper, because that's a pretty small circle of people that even write those things. So good for you.
You know, a few years ago, yeah, Stan said, "Oh, you can submit something if you'd like," and it's just become a regular thing. Just maybe a few times a year, but it's fun. Yeah, it's great to try to make the clues as sort of stumpery as possible, but then Stan always like toughens it up even further beyond what I'm capable of and comes up with clues that are even more like oblique or ambiguous or vague or misdirecty, so
it gives you that Brad Wilbur polish and off you go. All right, now meanwhile, you also are a regular writer for Slate, writing MIDI size puzzles for them. Isn't that the deal?
Yeah, Kiara is in the chat here. Kiara, the excellent editor of the Slate Crosswords, who does something like half of them herself, but then the rest of them are done by a rotating group of us. We mentioned Tim Croce. Actually, Tim Croce is
oh, you're kidding,
joined the roster on Slate as well.
Oh, I didn't even know if he was like a human being or like a crossword generating.
apparently. Yeah. But no, it's been great.
To like the events in person.
Right. So there's MIDI puzzles, generally 11 by 11 during the week, and then on the weekend there's a 15 by 15. So I have today's MIDI puzzle as well.
Wow. So like every other day. So like Wednesday you're going to be somewhere. We don't know when. But no, that's great. Saturday on to Monday. All right. So I suggest that I start with the MIDI and like sure. I mean, I don't know, from experience, I feel like I could knock that thing off, but it's kind of get the brain. I took a lengthy nap. I was in the office at like 6 o'clock this morning and I was so wiped that I took a nap before doing this with you. And it was pretty deep sleep. So I'm either going to be super well rested and ready to attack your puzzle, or I still feel honestly really sleepy. But I love an excuse. My one question for you before we get going is, I did a Downs only copy and a regular copy of the Midi. Should I? Oh wait, I was about to, but didn't. Should I think about doing a Downs only, or should I just knock it out and get on to the other puzzle?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you might as well just do it regularly. I don't know if there's much to be gained by the Downs only experience for the MIDI, but
Um, well, Ravenite is saying do it acrosses only. Glenn Ryan is saying,
um,
does do mean solve or construct? I'm not sure I understand that.
like doing like we're talking about solving as Downs only with only the Downs only clues, uh, where you don't see the across clues. But however you want to do it is fine. You know, you could if you want to start Downs only and
I kind of would like to. It's funny.
okay, go for it. Yeah.
Well, June. Okay, yeah. Glenn was saying something I didn't get. It was for Kiara. So,
Uh,
like Kate Chin Park and June Pak were talking. I was sort of enjoying their chat, getting ready to stream with you, having you jump on the Zoom, starting the Twitch stream, and when you add it all up, like what I meant to be doing and I was about to do was like make a Downs only copy of this
Go for it. Go for it.
puzzle, and
We'll
I'm
see
doing
how it
that right
goes.
now.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm doing that right now, but I didn't do like the Alex Boisvert routine, which I'm now doing and like sort of as I vamp.
Sorry.
Okay, with
Yep.
that said, once more into the breach, dear friends. Let me start the screen share so that you and you and you and you, I'm looking at you, Twitch friends, can all see the puzzle. All right, we'll see. We'll see how this goes down style. And of course okay, Ben, I got you in the corner. All right. I guess I'll leave my camera on for this experience. All right, we'll see. I mean, I like Slate's website, but this is an alt way of doing Downs only. Okay, yay big would be 6 letters. I assume it wouldn't be with an A.
First of all, what's your first impression upon seeing this particular grid in front of you?
My first impression is look at this grid. Good grief. This is a double boomerang. I mean, I'm glad you didn't flirt with the notorious symmetrical, mid-century icon that we try not to see.
Well, when you're dealing with the, yeah, right. But when you're dealing with with MIDI puzzles, I mean, there might be you're a bit more constrained, obviously, with 11 by 11, but there's still fun things you can try to do. So I tried to go for like a super low word count puzzle on this one, and it came out okay. I think it worked out. But
No, this looks great. I'm sorry, I didn't pause to look at your grid pattern because as soon as I saw this like first clue, I was like, oh my God, why did I do this? Downs only. I have no idea what you're talking
Well,
about. But yeah, this is sweet. I love like an open middle chasm style or like triple, quadruple
yeah,
stack.
well, yeah,
So look at
stacks
all
this
this.
time, but no open, not open middle, but certainly open on the sides.
No, this is great. You have like quad and triple stacks and like in an L shape and twice. So I mean, look at all this white space. Kevin Durr, eat your heart out. This is I love this. All right. No, this is really good. Was it hard to construct with so many like bricks of words here?
Uh, it was a little challenging, yeah, more challenging than the usual MIDI, but yeah, I kind of lucked out, I guess, with finding words that worked for this.
Okay, well, during the short interregnum, before I put all of this clues on the screen, let's see how I do. Like I said, I want this to be yay big, but I don't think you would. Yay long? Is that a thing? All right, let's keep it in mind and move on. This is probably this. I want this to be at dawn, but in 7 letters. Sun up. Well, I like a vowel there, but at, just don't know. Wow. I have no idea what that means. I guess. One across is starting to look like multiple words. Oh my God, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Didn't they make a whole movie about that for the like Atari?
Yeah, it's legendary how bad it was, and then they had to put all the extra cartridges in a landfill or something like that, or buried them in the desert. What was it? I don't know, something.
Yeah, yeah, right. There's like some landfill where like under a heap of garbage, there are like tens of thousands of. I'm sure that's great for the environment, like leaching toxic chemicals just to hide the shame of how bad the ET game was. One Across is starting to look like Trash Panda, although that could be it could be Crash Pads with two D's. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, I know you like to use like colloquialisms from the language, and that is clearly not one word. So that's my first initial guess for One Across. This is the NHL. That's the new Seattle team. My Panda theories holding up momentarily.
Holding up.
All right, this is okay. So it is Trash Panda. This is DEI.
And by the way, one of the teams that we have faced off against in COQL is the Trash Pandas.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, they've popped up as regular opponents of ours. Not that anyone cares about ZOQL other than you and me, Ben, but it's this season has been our immodestly our team started 7-0, which is bananas considering that we could barely win a game like last season. Like in the last 60 seconds of games, 30 seconds, we were turning wins into ties, ties into losses, wins into losses. And this season, it's been this like magical ride where we're winning them by 1, 2, 3 points. We were lucky to not face any super teams in the opening round robin, which is how some of the best teams lost because they had to play each other. We did take a collar took our first L a couple weeks ago against just a really good team, but I'm just happy to be in the playoffs. It's like a Seattle Mariners team that like crushes its way in the playoffs and then immediately gets excused. Yeah, against Yogesh, Matt, and Patrick, that might be a bit of a rude awakening. But all right, well, this is an A. This is clearly Trash Panda. That is, I want that to be shoe leather on the second line, but it like extremely isn't. Is this like how you roll up a burrito or a? Oh, okay. I know what this. I was going to say when you roll up a child. That's this, right? I
Roll
wouldn't
up a
know.
child like a burrito.
Right. Oh, so it isn't. Well, yeah, or whatever it takes. All right. So clearly this is hot weather. It's nothing. It's not leather anything. This is what? Ben, are you quoting The Boxer by Paul Simon? What is going on?
Lie.
It's all a lie. Let's do the rest of the puzzle with no across or down clues. Right now, I'm doing fine. Well, this could be, what could it be other than this? I like the S. This big. Okay, so it wasn't yay big. It was this big. At sunup was the, wait. Oh, I just said sunup, not at sunup. I thought that was like 5 letters. Okay, shutter, bind, I rule, gape, I guess at probably. Like a throw. Ooh, Gapers block. Gapers tourist, something. All right, because this is errant. This is hot sex. This is probably that. It could be like a story or a rumor, but I like fact there because I like REF. Where to order a Mai Tai? Trader Vic's.
Sure.
Hey, we're getting raided. Thank you, K Brown, for the raid.
Hello, Raiders.
Wow. We are swimming in like awesome puzzle people. Thank you, Kay. Thank you for joining me, one and all. What are we doing tonight? Oh my God, Ben, check out the chat box.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go back and watch the VOD for K's solve. Very nice. So we didn't do it downs only though, I'm sure, but
Exactly. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say exactly. I will say this. K Brown, sort of a stalwart crossword streamer, as I only can aspire to be. But yeah, K Brown, great puzzle solver in general. Thank you for the raid. Sorry for stepping on your toes if I did by starting a stream while you were doing your thing, but this is sort of a continuation of the Bosswords Crossword League stream. Ben was a guest there tonight. Ben, 2 streams in 2 hours, 2 puzzles in 3 days. Would it be rude to call you like some sort of like a crossword whore? That is
oh, ouch. Okay. Well, if you want to put it that way, wow.
No. I take it back. I take it back. Ben, you know you're a brother to me. The only way I know for sure that we're not brothers is that we're both named Ben.
Here you go.
No, just teasing, just teasing. Okay, this could be right. I like, well, Ben, look at you. You took a swipe at the DEI trend in the country and then you got this.
Wow, there you go. Hidden messages all over the place.
It is. All right, route for a cargo ship. I want this to be like like not a trade wind, but isn't there a name like a shipping lane? That's what I'm thinking of. In 7 letters though. I see lane, maybe don't they put them like in lanes? Refills could be here. Cope, but
Yeah.
Cabana.
Kiara had the same thought that I had when you about George Foreman naming
Exactly. We could both be named Ben.
George's.
Maybe Ben Tolkien and Ben Paul and Ben Pausig. Maybe we have like a whole house full of crossword Bens. I'm sure there's others that I didn't think of. All right, has a plan to.
Oh, sorry, Raven Knight made the joke first. You know, everybody jumping in on the Foreman joke.
Yes, absolutely. Well, not now. I feel like for the rest of my life, I have to just like flagellate myself for calling gentle Ben Zimmer a whore, even in jest. Ben, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
Gentle Ben. Now you're comparing me to a bear. Or what's going on? Anyway.
The Bends. I happen to love that album. As a matter of fact, it's hard to keep up with the chat box and go downs only. All right, this is either sits up or sits. No, it could be sits at or sits by. It could be a lot of things.
Now I'm trying to remember the Bens because LeBron Swanson mentioned it in the chat. The three, it was Ben Folds was, who were the other two Bens in the Bens? It was Ben
Lee, Ben Harper,
Ben Lee. Yeah, Ben Lee. I can't remember if Ben Harper was one. He should have been.
Queller
and Ben Lee. Yeah, no Ben Harper. They could have added to the Bens.
Well, Ben, grab a tambourine along with me, and then we can be in that group too. I think my guitar playing does not stand up to those dudes. All right, I want this to be like in tens, but I want this to be refills. Something's got to give, Benjamin. Sits in. Hey, we could sit in with the Bens. Were we not just saying? All right. If this is this, I want candy. Is this? I mean, Copacabana. Ben, you should have put Bananarama if we're going 80s because this looks like that. I haven't even seen this clue. This is, if this is Sienna and this is Kate, I guess it could be like Kit Kats. Refiled nays? No. Naysays. Oh yeah, okay, that could be.
What a naysayer does. Nay says. It's kind of a weird word, but it is a word.
Oh wow. Oh, so like if you say like I naysay something, then of course
naysay, yeah.
That makes sense.
But if you add an S to it, you don't say naysays or naysays. I never hear anyone say that word, so I'm not sure.
I say salad niçoise, Ben, but you know, Steve Martin once said, "Oh, I forgot. Some of us don't speak French." No, of course, naysays makes sense. Now I jumped to a conclusion about Copacabana, but I feel confident that that's right. Of course, when we're done, I'm going to want to like check out your like across clues, but I want candy. I mean, I hope that there was like a bow wow wow reference in this clue, because if not, you missed a golden opportunity to celebrate our beloved Gen X. Yeah, I mean, oh no, it wasn't here. I just saw like Ms. Pac-Man in a puzzle. So, you know, it's all about Gen X, I guess. All right, and this is probably Don't Stress. And it is, because as we see at the lower right, this puzzle is filled.
There you go. You didn't even need the rest of the down clues.
I am delighted. All right, now with that said, whoa, that's your puzzle. That's your other puzzle. I want to very quickly take a look at your other clues. We'll make it quick. Oops, Ben. The viewers can't see how badly I'm botching like the Zoom like window in the corner of my screen. It doesn't matter. Let's
reveal.
You like show all the no incorrect letters. Well, that's comforting. Well, there's no letters at all. How do I'm proud to say that I don't even know how to like show all the.
Do you not have a menu up top to just the icons?
Yeah, good point. All right, pull down menu. There's solution. There we go. Thank you, Ben. I need you along, you know, reveal grid. There we go. I need you along because otherwise these things take me forever. All right. Okay. Look at all these long clues. You got 6 10-letter answers. I love that. Witty name for okay, I like it. Snowbird Seeks, sure. It's all a lie. Sally Mae. Are you sure you didn't mean Sally Mae?
Almost.
Shudder. Never heard of it. Very interesting.
Some of these got punch ups from my editor Kiara.
Ah,
I
nice
think
job.
the Shutter one I think was Kiara's idea.
Nice. I rule, sore winners. That's nice. Okay,
And there's your Chicago content right there. You
love
mentioned
it.
Gaper's Block, and how else could I clue this other than Gaper's Block? It's a great regionalism.
I love it. Very good. And in fact, there was like a Chicago culture website for many years called Capers Block.
Exactly. There you go.
Um,
It's something that's very associated with Chicago.
Exactly. They were big at the same time that like, God, I can't, it's like that phase of the internet is so like disappeared in my mind. There was a thing with multiple cities each having their own, I can't even spit it out, but that and Gaber's Block were the two big local culture sites for a while. Not unlike a Brooklyn Vegan was like to New York. Okay, Katy Perry. Yeah, did she not just like get blasted into space or whatever?
And then came back and kissed the ground after her 11-minute sojourn. Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone
Yeah, Katy Perry, real name Kate Hudson, but you had to change it for show business purpose. Refiles, very timely.
So I decided to go with the Goodfellas reference for my pop culture reference here and not Barry Manilow, only because it felt like it might get a little repetitive having two song title clues one after another. So
Well, what you should have done was put Don't Speak by No Doubt under it, and then you could have had three of them. All right, Ben. Okay, so I'm reading, speaking of trash, um, this is embarrassing to admit in such a public forum, but looking for something mindless to read on my phone, I threw the comedian Kathy Griffin, even saying her name like cheapens me, but I threw her book of like A to Z celebrity run-in, anecdote, cameo, whatever, onto my phone. So it was pretty funny. The other day, I forget who the story was even about. Maybe it was about Barry Manilow himself, but she made the point that like, she's like, yeah, call him a has-been, call him schmaltzy, call him what you want. But she's like, that guy is so insanely rich because of like his song publishing and his 70s career. She said, when Clive Davis would throw his Grammys party in Beverly Hills, Barry Manilow would fly there on his plane from Palm Springs. Like, it took longer to get to the airport. So good for you, Barry Manilow. But yeah, I would have loved a Barry Manilow clue here. Bow Wow Wow, of course.
of course.
Yeah, obligatory.
But do you know who did the original though? That's a cover.
Oh my God. The original is our friend Bill Wyman once gave me a CD called like The Originals, like 30 songs by the original artist. That there's a decent chance that is on there, but I certainly couldn't spit it out. But I bet you can.
It was the Strangeloves back in 1965 with slightly different lyrics, obviously. It's I know a girl who's soft and sweet becomes I know a guy who's tough but sweet when
Wow.
Bow Wow does it.
I love that. Ben, for those, I mean, Ben is too modest to say it, but Ben knows everything about pop and rock music history. And
Not so
it's
much,
so
not so much in the 21st century, but
yeah. Well, for us olds, you really know your share, and not just from like our era, but of course, like there you go. The Strangeloves is before our time. Take It Easy is Don't Stress. All right, great puzzle, Ben. Love it.
Yeah. Did you see? I don't know if you even looked at all the down ones because the short downs you didn't even bother with, right?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Is this what El Cid, of
Of
course.
course.
The word Cid was in like a Spanish like amor por mi blank the other day. I was streaming some puzzle and I was like, well, it's clearly Tio or Tia, but no, it was Cid. That was a little embarrassing. I didn't know it was a word other than El Cid. Guess so. Oh, Ben, can you tell us the name of El Cid's horse?
No. Is that another crossword thing?
It totally is. It totally is. I think it might have been a way to clue Sid and not
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that would be.
El Cid. It's oh man, I can't spit it out.
I just Googled it. Babieka? Babieka?
I knew it was 7 letters and like it ended with an A and I couldn't spit it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bobby Eka. Okay. So I thought this was one of the apparently dozens of new actors of various genders who have like African origin names that I can't like spit out.
No, not this
no.
time. It's
Oh,
you have your uwu and your owo, and
those
but
are two different things apparently.
yeah, with the different connotations of horniness apparently. But
So like there's a range starting at arrow and then it goes all the way up to whichever is the higher of the two.
Perhaps, I don't know, but
All right,
but
well,
it's
there's XXX and OOO that are, anyway.
so.
All
But
right.
yeah, if it's horizontal, then you get the O's on the side, and it makes sense with the wide eyes. But as a down clue, yeah, with the punch up from Chiara to indicate it would work if it was going horizontally.
Well, if it's horizontal, is the W like the nose in this equation somehow?
Or the mouth or whatever. Yes.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And then you've got pan, speaking of arrow.
There
I
you
guess
go. Yeah.
there's the opposite. Maybe pan is at the complete opposite end of the
There
spectrum.
you go. Panda arrow. It's a spectrum.
Okay, so did I see the rest of these clues?
I think so. I think so.
NHL, yeah, this is before I was confidently throwing some acrosses in. All right, Ben, great job, but that is merely a prelude to a kiss, if we can quote the Chicago filmed movie starring Alec Baldwin and was it Meg Ryan? I saw an interview once with Kathy Bates where she's like, she won an Oscar on Sunday for the movie Misery after a long like stage career, Broadway and otherwise. Then she wins an Oscar, and then like that was Sunday, and then Monday she was supposed to fly to Chicago to film like a very small part in the movie Prelude to a Kiss. And she's talking to her agent, she's like, should I still do this? Like role am I big for this now? But I'll leave it to the rest of you to, figure out whether or not Kathy made a mistake because hey, we got a puzzle to solve here, y'all. This is the Ben Zimmer Saturday Stumper. Get this. I've got like the Zoom, it's not that big a deal. The Zoom bar like across.
So yeah, here we go with my attempt at the staircase wide open middle.
Sorry, I haven't even looked at the grid yet. I'm just rearranging
Okay.
my screen so I can see everything. If I keep it like proportionally the same, it shouldn't like affect. If I broaden this thing out, I'm trying to I have the Zoom going on my phone. It really doesn't matter, but I want it to be easy enough for people to read the clues.
Yeah, I think it's good enough.
Okay. I mean, I could go like that, but now we want the whole grid. All right, fair enough. Ben, oh, nice. I love an open middle. Good for you. Look at this. All right, so you got 13x3 right across the middle. Is this thing a 15? It looks like it.
Yep.
Nice.
Some long downs as well.
Ben, don't blush, but Slug Biker is saying this was a cool puzzle, not turtles even.
Thank you, Slug.
Turtle. Is that
Well,
turtles all
it
the way
was
down?
on the Crossword stream. It was a group solve in downs only, no turtle mode, because often the group solve is done downs only turtle mode using the voir dire obfuscator to replace lots of the words in the clues with the word turtle. But we didn't use turtle mode because it was hard enough to do it downs only. And I was very impressed, like with all the minds in the crossword chat, being able to eventually to get it all downs only was very impressive.
I once saw them doing
It's
one of these
Roby.
turtle mode puzzles, and I was like, that is crazy hard. But now that you describe it, so is turtle mode actually a little easier because you get a few words in the downs instead of no words at all? Or does it make turtles out of all of the acrosses and the downs?
No. So okay, you can do whatever combination you want. I think with we should put in the link to the Crossword Nexus resources, but you can make a turtle mode which changes a certain percentage of the words in the clues to I'm just going to put a link in so people know where to look for this stuff, to the word turtle. You can do downs only, or you could do downs only turtle mode where you only have the downs clues, but lots of the words have been replaced by turtle to make it even harder than downs only. And that's often what happens on Crossweird when they're doing like Stella's puzzles, like as a group solve. They did a group solve of mine, which was downs only, not turtle mode, which would have made it even harder. But anyway.
Wow. All
That's
right.
good.
So the crossword scene is so gentle that's like our beast mode is like turtle mode.
Exactly.
All right. But in this case, I enthusiastically am going to use 100% of the clues. And because it's a Saturday Stumper, I still might, struggle. So, all right, on a leash, perhaps. Trying to think of like in a 1 5-letter word, something like, restrained, etc. And thank you for joining, by the way. We've got all these great people in the chat. Thanks in part to our friend Kay Brown. Thanks for the raid. Can everyone please do me the favor of not saying any answers in the chat, because I will try to see how far I can get on my own before I turn to the chat for help. Thanks in advance. Tort of a sort. Well, it could be that. It could be. Well, you got your negligence, you got your assault, you got your
There we
battery.
go.
you
The
got your-
lawyer
I
coming,
mean,
all the torts.
yeah, right. Bad things happen to good people, Ben. Law school among them, or the bad things happen to me too, and good people. All right, there are not a lot of torts in 5 letters. That could be wrong, but I'll leave it there for a sec. This is probably that I don't like. Is that Lieutenant Dan? This is starting to look like a vowel, but this could be wrong. On a leash. All right. It's so much easier to do these things like alone. I feel the need to turn this into like a radio show where I just never stop talking. And it really does get in the way of stopping to sort of think. There's no rule that says I can't stop and think about, but with people watching and also particularly with you here, etc. Like, I don't know about you, Ben. I do the stumpers on my phone.
You know, it's like dance like no one's watching, just solve like no one's watching.
All right, fair enough. This, I mean, shine. I'm thinking of someone who's glowing. Well, Panama Canal. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I thought I saw Central and South America. Ben,
Definitely Panama Canal. You got
is
it.
the Panama Canal in Central Asia? I'm not good at geography. Sorry. I was thinking that like Panama is where like it hits like Colombia, but okay. So this is this the Silk Road? I have no idea what that is. What Central and South Asia? I mean, Kuala Lumpur doesn't seem like it would possibly.
Kuala Lumpur is in Southeast Asia, way off where you need to be.
I only said it because it's 11. No, right. Of course. I'm like, Laos, Vietnam, Vientiane. Anyway,
Further north.
Myanmar. Oh, is it like Lhasa, Tibet would be, no, that's just not right.
All right.
Central, Bangladesh is 10 letters. Something, comma, India, Mumbai, India. No, it's all right. I got to come back to this. I could guess all day and never. If I'm within 1,000 kilometers, I'm proud of myself, but I'm probably not. Could be that maybe. Oh no, I like this here, but could be wrong. This would be. Is that Smith? To go with Pocahontas? Oh,
Well, who
John, is it
was the
Rolfe?
husband of Pocahontas anyway?
What was the name of the? Well, don't tell me because this could be that.
I'm
could be-
not. I'm just.
No. But I thought was it John Rolfe? Was it John? I can't remember the name of the guy she married. That is not going to help. All right, this would be maybe that. I think of a snog as more than a smooch. Where do a snog and a smooch fit on that spectrum that we were like building out? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I want this to be this in Will Short speak. That's how Will Short saves valuable time in his emails. The old THO. These once were Oglalas. Man, Ben, are we done? I think my work is. I think I've proven my point that I can solve this thing. I've got 7 letters here. They're probably all wrong. All right. So what tort would this be if it's not libel? I don't know. All right, we're just gonna have to come back to that upper left. That is not a good start. Is this Chinese related? I mean, maybe that. It's a cousin to Indochina. I don't know, that could be right. Probably that. This is that.
Nora's
Wait.
in the puzzle,
No,
but without an H.
is Nora in the chat box? Was that your point?
Nora was.
Yeah.
Nora still there.
All right, so this was Nora Ephron, who directed Julie and Julia and When Harry Met Sally. All right, very good. This is this. This is probably this. This is, probably that. No, not even. I want to say it's Proteus, like the sea god in 7 letters, but
Nereus, one of those.
exactly. Well,
Nereus and the Nereids.
Poseidon, but I mean, starting with WAT, I feel like it's water something. When I started typing water nymphs, sadly, I thought it was right until I realized it was actually, wait, is this, oh yeah, this is 12, that's right. This one was 11, but it's not the like symmetrical one. All right, I'm gonna have to come back to that. All right, is this Dan Issel? I don't think so. Why can't I spit this out? I want to say like diacritical. Ben, you're the only person I know who probably knows this word. No, you and Bill Wyman. There's like a term for like the pronunciation guide, like in a dictionary. Maybe, not sure. They once were psychic. I have no idea what this is. Is this end in an, is this IC? Making them is dull work. Dictionaries? Is there room to, yeah. All right, that will help. In these open grids with long answers, getting like one word that you can just plonk in really helps, because you need like a skeleton to hang the muscles on, so to speak. This I am not seeing. I would love to just confidently drop this in, but there's only one problem. I have no idea what it is. I want this to be sharing custody, but with custodial in the clue, could be like mopping, you know, dusting, whatever, obviously. Oh, if this is a G, then what's this? Quote unquote. I should know that as a putative French speaker. Does it help that a Y is an Y, like a Greek Y?
I
Huh,
wanted the actual sideways double chevrons in the clue, but maybe they wouldn't appear in
right.
media properly. So we
Like,
get
like is this
descriptive.
what we're going for?
Yes, but there's special
Yeah, of
character.
course, of course,
that-
of
yeah.
course. They're like they're nested, or what's the word? They're kerned, or whatever. Anyway, I sadly I don't know that, but this looks like it starts with an S, and yet I don't know what it is. I am
So
afraid to
just
put that in, but
I'm not to, bail you out or anything, but just so you're reading this clue correctly, it's blank guillemet is French for quote unquote. The sideways double chevrons are the guillemet, those the quotation
yeah, yeah,
marks
yeah,
French are called guillemet.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
But the,
I mean,
the
I
whole
totally,
expression means quote unquote. Okay.
I got you. All right, so you're suggesting that if I could just think of like what this is, like, I mean, I know that the French use those quotation marks, but
Yeah.
there's like whoops, there's another Steve Martin, but yeah, I've been lucky enough to visit France a few times, and I've read French stuff, and I see that all over the place. Tragically,
I just didn't know because that clue came out weird with the bracketed bits. I wasn't sure if people were if it made it hard to parse what was happening
yeah,
there.
yeah. Well, like we always see that like in the Tim Croce in the like in the Club 72 puzzles, or no, or sorry, maybe it's even in these Stumpers, like when he says like, number one hit from 1968, but it says like 0.1 instead of like the pound sign or whatever. All right, I mean, this is like, I mean, if you were getting, this is what? This is 13 letters long. I wanted it to be something like before photos or whatever. Obviously, it's not going to be like smashed up cars, because you're going for something more oblique, I would think. Mean to be. I mean, it could be like bank on, something on, or we haven't seen this yet. Oral repetition. Is this like a pleonasm or one of those fancy words that you're the only human who knows what it means? David Souter. Oh man, David Souter was succeeded by Sonia Sotomayor. But who did Souter succeed? It wasn't, well, William O. Douglas would fit in this spot, but I don't think he was on the bench as long as, did Souter get appointed by like George Bush Sr. in like 91 or something? Douglas could be right. I just don't think, honestly can't remember how long he served. Doesn't help. All right. Well, we gotta get some more letters somewhere. Liable is, I mean, it could be in the sense of like legally liable, or it could be in the sense of like, I'm just looking at the word snogs, thinking like if liable is right, then this I mean, I want this to be Bezos, but it isn't. All right, or this could be like liable, like as in like likely to do something. Not sure if this is, let's throw this in here for 1 sec. I'm gonna regret this, but if these letters are right, then this might help. The problem is when I can't unsee them when I type them in. All right, this is Les Mis. Liable is. Not sure. Came down to be that. Is this arsenic and old lace with just a really bad clue? Millions of bits. Could be that. It's really looks like old lace, Ben. Frisky bunch. Something here is wrong, and it is Justice Douglas. This is not this. I assume this is this. This is. Oh, no, it's not Adam. It's not Eve. I was thinking, oh, it's not Eden, it's Eve. No, it's not that either. All right, so this is. What? Huh,
Glad you're falling for all the traps.
yeah, right? I mean, are these like whiskers? Frisky bunch, A-E-I-O-U. Well, if a lit is wrong, then that would help, but what's this? Uh, hmm, I can't get married to any of these. Well, these are clearly right, the L and the A. Liable. Now I feel like it looks like woulda, coulda, something. Not seeing it. Stage specialty. I mean, it's not like something persona. Now I want it to be like stage, like combat or accent. Something, I'm just not seeing it. Mean to be. Huh. Now I have to be like, who left the bench in the early 90s? It's not Sandra Day O'Connor, although that is 7 letters. I should already have dropped this in here. Not thrilled. I am really, Ben, I guess talk is cheap, but I usually I usually move a lot more steadily through a Saturday Stumper.
All
But
good.
Woman
It's a
of
Stumper,
Georgia.
so, you know.
Not seeing that either. This is probably Enid, Oklahoma, I guess. This is probably sci-fi, I would assume. Oh yeah, I thought I knew this letter, but I don't. Oh wait, does pizza prep, that helps. Well, this is not needs dough. Is this preheats? No, it clearly isn't. Let's see if we can get this. Is this as if? This is that. Huh. Not seeing that either. Ben, I don't want to brag, but I know this is the letter S without knowing either of these answers.
Mhm.
Warms up is probably that. Is this? I mean, is this? I don't
Well,
know
you
why.
know, Stan likes to have one kind of cryptic clue in every stumper, it seems, and that's what this ended up being. I originally had it clued as Terry Garr's character in Young Frankenstein or some reference to her, but instead we get the hidden cryptic style.
Oh, sorry. I was drinking water as you said that. I didn't quite get you. Okay, got it. Oh, okay. So he occasionally will throw around like a hidden,
Yeah, there's generally one per stumper.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. Why am I not seeing this? I'm not wild about the fact that I have no idea what you're talking about here, but does pizza prep? I mean, you could say like orders, but no. Minor assistance. Huh. Oh, like give a penny, take a penny? Is that what we're going for here? No, apparently not, because neither of those letters works. I'm not gonna like put everyone through the torture of me like staring at the keyboard to try to figure out the first letter of this justice, but all right, let's come back to it. Feels sore. from? Not sure. That could be a lot of things. It could be a hot mess. It could be the show Hot Ones, although it clearly isn't. Wow, is this our second concise occurrence, a concurrence of the evening?
It is indeed.
Almost as if Justice Sotomayor and Justice Souter separately concurred. Put back, is it present tense? Is it past tense? We don't know. This could be that, although that kind of doesn't work. How about that, maybe? It could be like so am I for copacetic. I don't love that. This could be that. Not wakens or awakes. It could be like totals, comes to numerically. Feels sore from. Oh, sore as in a mood. Got it. Ben, it's always a mood with you. You create such a nice mood in these puzzles. A vibe, if you will. I don't think you would do hot ones without quotes. Hot, there's so many things this could be, though. All right, I'm gonna go yet further. I'm really not doing very well here. This is this. This is this. Oh, no, it's not. Placid. Just not seeing what you're going for there at all. Is this like diatones? It's not like no. Is it diphthongs? Really not. Ben, look at me. I knew the word diphthong was like vaguely relevant to whatever you're talking about. I'm not trying to brag, but I did. Okay, this is an interesting clue.
It is an interesting clue, and I feel obliged to point out, as I have to everyone who solved this, that this was not my clue. This was Stan edited it and put unnecessarily made it referring to J.K. Rowling, which I definitely would not have preferred, and if I had my choice. So it goes.
If you had your Sally Struthers, then it might not have happened. All right, understood. And yet, all right, so it first included, I mean, I want this to be like the OED, or I mean, it actually could be like Wikipedia. That would be kind of, but it ain't. All right, I mean, this is like some kind of like a cultural reference work, or like, I mean, I know you're like the word of the year guy, so you probably have a great sense of like where things like pop up for the first time. I am running out of like, I'm running out of words. I'm running out of clues, answers. This could be like a grin. I mean, this could be like this. Ben, it turns out this entire puzzle now rests on 10 down. Isn't that sad?
You can
Um,
do it.
I'm sorry.
You can do it.
Ugh. Yeah, this is really, there's a lot of white squares left in this thing. Note redone for 1976. I mean, was it the 10? Because, I mean, or the 1? I guess we're going back to George Washington, so it's got to be the, probably it's got to be the 1. I assume you're talking about like moving physically, although maybe not. Is this? Your like poker face is so like still that I can't, I mean,
I mean, are you actually asking me?
no, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. America, I can't see your face when I can. Oh, is it a $2 bill? Could be if this is this. Let's see. Not a tear. Head down. Huh. Well, it could be something NESS or MESS.
Let's see, Slug is suggesting going back and looking at 2 down again.
Thanks, Slug. Oh, nice. Okay. Toto.
You did have that entered at one point.
Thanks. Thank you, Slug. Yeah, this is, I'll probably come back to this later and not realize that these are all wrong and I just threw them in there whimsically. Okay, fair enough. Leash, something tied, isn't it? No, Slug, that's fine. I mean, I am really like, I mean, I could get out my phone and prove it. Like I usually do these stumpers and, maybe a quick one, 12 or 14 minutes, maybe a slower one, 20 to 25. But here we're 23 minutes deep and I don't know, am I half done? Maybe barely. All right, so this would be the Aegean Sea. Slug, that's a good amount of help. That is actually useful. Thanks. You didn't give anything away. Is this John Rolfe?
You could try.
All right. Everyone in the East Coast, like Ben, is interested in going to bed at some point. So, all right. I don't like snogs here because I don't like an S there.
Maybe revisit one across. Well,
fair enough.
are you really wedded to that ED ending?
Oops, clearly not. Clearly not. On a leash is. Oh, duh. Okay. I can't believe I can't spit this out. On a leash. What tort would what? Assault, battery.
Why'd you take out Snogs? Because you didn't think it would work with
Yeah, because this looks so bad. When in fact, this is clearly this. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. This is clearly that. This is this.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, this is this. This is. Got it. I should have probably thought of that, but I didn't.
You don't deal with arson much in your line of lawyering. So.
It's adorable that you think I don't deal with it on weekends.
Oh wait, no, I guess you would have to deal with arson.
No. Thank God. No, arson has never been a part of my my world.
But you do like property cases, so I imagine it comes up occasionally, right?
After a fashion. But yeah, arson not so much. Made in the shade, like hitting for the cycle. This feels like an N. Oh, this could be this. And yet.
Now your French knowledge is coming back.
Yeah, well, between
the guillemets.
So the bracket.
What's in between them?
Okay, so the bracketed thing describes the guillemets, not. Oh, got it. So I would.
Yes, that's why I thought it was confusingly written because it's like.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. So not to beat this to death, but I thought that. I was trying to think of a word like ears or arcs or something that with the word guillemot would describe the physical thing. But okay, got it. So between. All right, but if you had put like. All right, so it would have been a different thing. If you had put like in sideways double chevrons to describe, it would have been a different clue. All right, got it. All right, so this is custodial concern. I want this to be business something, and yet these letters all look okay. So
Slug says, take a look at 34 across.
All right. Fair enough.
There you go. Whoa, whoa. What's happening here? What's going on?
Gets ready. Oh, wait, Ben, why did you tell me to type all these T's? Don't you see that that's screwing me up? By the way, as a matter of pure, as we discussed that AJ. Well, I don't want to ruin anything. All right, sorry, I just did. All right, anti-China tattoo artist, plural, beautiful. Okay, without you and Slug telling me what to look at next, this would be like, on my own time, I could like knock around, like bounce around and gradually, but you guys are doing a great job of like keeping me like pointed in the right direction. So this is not an O.
Yeah, what's that O doing there?
Yeah. I cannot believe justice. Give me 1 second to think about what this could be, what letter this could be. Wait, we don't have to think about it if we can solve this. Liable. these letters are right. What is going on here? Like likely to, prone to.
I guess 37 across feels easy to me because I'm in Jersey City and the Hudson County Courthouse downtown is the Justice Blank building because he was from New Jersey.
Ah, nice. Okay. So it's ugh, I can't spit the guy's name out to make the reference I'm trying to make. Frank Mecklenburg is I forget the guy's name. What was well, no, it's is it named after Senator Menendez? Isn't he like a wonderful paragon of public service over there? All right, this looks
Yeah,
like
we have so many wonderful public servants in New Jersey who,
yeah, liable.
if anything gets named after them, you have to change the name after they.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We're taking down our statues of Teddy Roosevelt, and we're certainly taking down our like New Jersey, whatever. All right, this frisky bunch. Wow. And it's plural, and yet this so clearly.
So clearly?
Oh, real, not.
I said you fell into the trap.
Well, there are so many traps.
That is the first place. You need a first name related to the first place.
I want it to be Eve or Adam with the first name. Oh, is it the name of the snake? First name, is it God?
Well, if the first place is Eden, you're looking
Oh,
at the first name that's
I
related
was
to
thinking of
Eden.
an actual name of something in the Bible, of course. So a first name or got it. Okay. Sorry, I made that way.
You're still not quite getting it though. The first place is
Oh,
Eden. You're looking for a first name that's related to Eden
got it. Oh, like that.
or something.
Is this still wrong? Is that what you're telling me? Okay, I'll have to come back to it then. All right, so but liable is this could be too late, as in it's too late at night for me to be doing this badly. Mean to be.
Slug gave you another little pointer at that 48 down does have a question mark on it. So think
I'm gonna turn off this light in my face. Clearly that was the problem. All right, so I get that there's something cute happening here, and people in the chat were saying they love this clue, etc. However, bunch.
frisky bunch.
Oh, thank you. Oh man, Ben, no wonder this is a hard one.
That's not it though. But you're getting closer.
All right, so this is right.
There you go.
I was like, what's this? Slid? I mean, that was just no good. So is this? No, don't tell me. It could be this. That's not what it usually means. Eden. Wow. I think you win and I lose tonight's stream. This is brutal. I mean, it's good. It's a great puzzle, but God, I'm just getting crushed here. I can't even think of the name of the judge or this. I want this to be like dusts with like flour. That's not it. Or like crimped.
Different ingredient.
Say it again.
Different ingredient.
Oh, is it really? Interesting. Is there a 6-letter word for oreganoifies?
There should be.
That absolutely. Salt, flour, Ravenite just did 44 across.
Okay.
Oh, like, I mean, it could be like orders in a restaurant, or it could be like sits down. Ravenite just did it. Oh, great, because this is ing. This is that probably. Is that what this is? It sure looks like it might be. Made in the shade is probably like, oh, this is this. Got it. Okay, that helps. This is this. This is this. This is, oh, my beloved New Yorker Diureses co-opt with the Spinal Tap-esque umlaut, but unlike Spinal Tap, the New Yorker puts it over a vowel. Is that, now how do we even spell this? Is this like that? I think I want there to be like an AE in here somewhere. Ugh, this is embarrassing that I don't know how to spell this word.
There are a couple different spellings, so you're good.
All right.
AE is one way to spell it, and you have the other one, which is the one that fits.
All right. Pre-strength and pre-stress. I never saw this clue. Ben, if I had seen this clue, we would have all gone to bed 10 minutes ago. Look at this. Sitting pretty, best interest, tattoo artists, and then you've got Afghanistan dictionaries, water sprites. Look at, wow, you've got all these 10 plus letter. And you know what? I'll give you 9 too, Ben. Now, good for, no, this is great. This is really a very advanced level feat of construction, I feel like. I want this to be this, and yet I don't love set design. Okay, so that, okay, fair enough. Oh, Justice Brennan. Why wasn't I thinking of Justice William Brennan? This is, oh, of course. What, these clues, some of these answers are not as hard as I was making them. Like, this is pretty straightforward. So's that. All right.
Well, that's how it should be. Once you get it, you're like, oh, of course.
Exactly. That's a Stumper. That's the Stumper lifestyle that I've signed up for here. They have millions of bits. Megs, nice, sure. To Edna, really? Is that? Of course, that makes sense. It comes from Eden. All right, and then to
They're
blank is liable.
etymologically related, apparently. Yes.
Well done. How would you know, Ben? How would you know? No, for those who are just rolling in, Ben is like America's favorite linguist, I like to call him. Ben wrote about language for 10 years in the Wall Street Journal, great columns. And when, I mean, there's no like, in a sense, no like loftier credential that when beloved New York Times language columnist William Sapphire, is it pronounced?
Yep.
Sapphire?
Sapphire,
We say Sapphire, don't we? Yeah.
like the gem.
When Bill Sapphire passed away, Ben Zimmer was tapped to step in, which is pretty great. And I was reading Ben in the New York Times before I ever knew I would meet him someday. Is this inspo? No, it isn't. Concise concurrence. This could be like, as do I. Tepid. Not only does,
Tepid's looking a little tepid right now.
yeah, exactly. Well, this is odors. So not so hot could be something that allows this to be as am I or as do I. Comes to is stirs, like wakes up. Hot seat, neato, maybe. As am I, not so hot is tamer. Put back is deter. Oh, nice. Much ado about nothing. Is that what we're going for here? Or just an ado is just a tumult about no big deal. In any case, I think that's right. Well, this is nice. This is an interesting sort of set of words. This is like a good New York Times mini. Like, it's a bunch of like, they're all quality answers crossing each other. This, oh, Bartlett's book of quotations. All right, so we'll hang that on Stan, the rolling reference. Oh, a lift up the face of a mountain is a T-bar. Very nice. Head down, is that like to wade? No. Oh, ancients. Oh, head down, like to like to go downhill. And then ancients, and what? Ben, I thought this was tamer. Well, if this
There's
is,
so many ways you can clue this in a family puzzle, you know.
that's a metaphorical retaliation. Oh, tit for tat. And with that, we can see at the lower right that we are,
Yeah,
bear with me,
you did it.
you did it. Check it out down here, everybody. The puzzle is filled correctly. Wait, what? This is such a great grid. Ben, why are we making a mess? Disappearing ink. Great job, Ben Zimmer. What a terrific puzzle.
Thank you.
Really, really good. I'm sure Stan was thrilled with this grid. I mean, what's not to like?
Well, you know, I always have a critical eye, so it's like I like the way that it got filled, but then I look at it and it's like, let the all those E's and R's and S's that kind of like cluster together. It's like aesthetically, it's like I'd like a little more variety there with those letters in the Southeast. But you know, it worked. There, it wasn't. I didn't have like C or S or some like terrible crossword E's holding things together, so it's okay.
Yeah, when you look back at puzzles like from the 1990s or earlier, you get like, like female oracles or whatever, and then you get that, and you're
Right.
like, ugh, because much like the letters S and E, connote in on your compass, the right like the right hand column and the bottom row of a puzzle, the south and the east, like it's just so
Yeah.
many words end with S and so
Yeah.
many words end with E that like you get like the word like people who receive tax bills, SSEs or whatever.
I mean, in general, I do prefer I'm having not so many, 1 point Scrabble letters, for the puzzle. So something like, pre-stressed or something wouldn't be my first pick of long fill. But again, it seemed okay given that how much it had to cross. You know, but
And for the record, you started with a P. I mean, it was averaging
that's
like a
true. That's
P
true.
of Scrabble value for a second or whatever a P is. No, that's great. Yeah, I mean, you have to like at some point you need there are not words in English such that you can make a grid of like all Scrabble words, it's just
Well, I mean, there are these magicians like Ryan McCarty who seem to be able to do that, but I'm happy that it was all at least, words that you might have heard of.
you are miles ahead of me. I mean, I don't know if you gave me like, the proper software and like a year to work on it. I don't know that I would be able to make that grid. That's awesome. Ben, I may have told you I recently made a 21x crossword, except it was all black squares except for like a 3x3 in the middle, and there was a typo. But I'm working on it. I will never catch up to you. I don't know. I've written a few 15x crosswords in my time that were thoroughly ordinary, but my head is off to you. And I mean, look at the company you're in. I think our friend Doug Peterson may have been in the chat box for a second here, but like Brad Wilbur, Doug, Matthew Sewell, Stella, I think writes I'm trying to remember. They're every time you open a Saturday Stumper, it's like by somebody great. Frank Longo. I mean, these are like the best in the biz.
Yeah, Kate Chin Park has been doing some recently. Stan, in fact, at ACPT kind of put out a call for new constructors for like the Friday and Saturday news days. And so yeah, if you're interested in doing that, Stan's opening things up, so it's not just a closed group of constructors for that.
Yeah, generally the Newsday, I mean, I don't know if is there like a public spec sheet? If I mean, our Newsday, does Newsday generally have like its people already?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think he Stan just by virtue of sort of who he feels comfortable with has like the people that he's relied on for stumpers, but
No,
he
I
did
meant like through the
specific
week, like Monday,
through the
Tuesday.
week. Oh yeah, no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the earlier in the week when, but he was specifically talking about Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays being a bit more difficult, nothing like Saturday. But he'd like to get some more diversity, he said, in the constructor roster for those.
I
So
love it. Well, go ahead and submit to Stan if you dare. No, he's a good guy. And I just feel gratitude to him, Croce, and Peter Gordon, anybody who keeps a steady supply of hard crosswords. Not that I proved anything tonight. I mean, if we've learned anything in the last like hour, it's that I should maybe think about doing some medium difficulty crosswords. I
it's
did
all
not do very
good.
well on this
Like
one.
I keep telling you, don't put yourself down. People enjoy watching the solve no matter what. So it's all
And
good.
maybe I'm vain, but I like to be able to knock these things out. But yeah, of course, it's more relatable for people to watch someone, have to figure out a crossword, which is how I certainly have to do it too. But in general, I mean, the relative speed is less important than hopefully people watching the stream enjoy it and maybe get a different way to think about a puzzle. Like, for example, the correct way when they watch me do other things. But no, of course, I mean, I stream for enjoyment, and a lot of the enjoyment is like the having friends on like you and the social facet of having like friends in the chat box. And there's always new people. Like, for example, first time chatter Pushy Cats, who just said in the chat box, I'm surprised at how you got so many of these to fit. It's a great compliment.
Thank you, Pussycats. Yeah, no, it does take a lot of trial and error when you've got long entries crossing. But yeah, basically, I just keep iterating. If I find a combination that I like, I'll just keep running through iterations, and sometimes it takes a lot of iterations before it finally comes together cleanly.
So when you have like that triple stack, I mean, I don't do enough question asking. I do too much like declaring and announcing and monologizing. But I'm curious, if you have like, so you have like triple stacks across the middle, like 12s or 13s. If
Yeah.
you have two of the words, is it hard to find the third? I mean, how do you, it seems to me like it's like squeezing a balloon. Like how do you get all three of them to fit together? Do you have to keep trying different things for the third one?
Yeah, sometimes that's how it works. I'm actually going back. Lately I've been using Ingrid as my construction software. I was a Crossfire guy for a long time. But one thing I like about Ingrid, which is free, by the way, I'll drop the link in. I recommend it. One thing that I like with Ingrid is that it's much easier to keep track of iterations. Like in Crossfire, you basically like have to create a new file every time you make some adjustment that you want to save. But in Ingrid, you can just like have like a project and just work through 10, 20, 30, 50 iterations, and it's all in that one project rather than all being separate files, which gets very hard to manage. So I'm looking back at this particular Stumper, and yeah, this one actually didn't take as many iterations as usual. Actually, somehow I managed only to do 7 iterations before I got it to work, which is unusual. Usually it takes a lot more than that. So I guess I just got a little lucky.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and there were, of course, there were like legit answers. Now, do you have like a huge word list where all of these long answers are already in your list? Or do you see like, 4 letters out of 13 and you're like, oh, that could be best interests? Or is that like the software spat it in there because it was in a list?
I mean, like most constructors these days, I'm cobbling together a combination of, creating a word list out of a combination of other lists and then adding and rescoring and doing all of that. So, if you there's great lists out there like Spread the Word list, which is free, or Jeff Chen's list, which is not for free from so for subscribers to Xword Info. But Ingrid and Crossfire and Crossword Compiler, all of these, or Crosserville, they allow you to combine multiple lists, but then you can add your own entries that you want to see. Rescoring, though, is like what a lot of modern crossword construction is all about. So if it's on a 0 to 100 scale, then you have to make sure that it's uh, scored the way so that the things that you want to see are scored properly above a certain threshold, so that the bad fill is below that threshold and the good fill is above it. Um, yeah, once I became sort of a regular constructor, I realized, oh, this is where the serious work is, like curating the word list and getting the scores to be so that you're getting the good stuff and separating the wheat from the chaff.
Well, it certainly worked. I mean, I won't say it worked in this case because I've done many of your puzzles. You had that one. I won't say the answer in case people want to go back and solve it. But that one at cross answer. I think I was here like on a Saturday morning, the day your puzzle came out, as you were like kind of like doing like a victory lap around Twitch as different people were solving your puzzle, including some of our friends over at Crossweird. But yeah, so I love when you drop a stumper because it's like it ennobles my Twitch stream to have like the actual writer of a puzzle on. But in your case, of course, we're like old pals. But oh,
So Fatty has a question in the chat. How does score work with propers like Brennan and the Stumper? I mean, proper nouns may be scored like anything else in a word list, but that's where again, like the constructor's sense of things has to take over. Where like you can't load up with too many propers, right? That's always a balancing act. Um, I tend to probably err on like having too many propers in, which because if it if I have some like trivia or pop culture angle or something, but yeah, most editors will say, if you like, especially like for a themeless, you don't want like a big cluster of proper nouns because that could lead to nadic situations where, if you're unfamiliar with crossing proper nouns, then it's a problem. But yeah, I mean that again, the scoring is it's just everything is assigned a number. It's just a matter of like what number you want for it. So like I dropped the link in for Ingrid. If you download Ingrid as the standalone app, it's preloaded with Spread the Word list, which is a very good free word list developed by Brooke Cusick and Rafael Musa. and it's a great public service that they have a word list that is available to all, and it's another one of these things that helps to democratize crossword construction. I mean, you just like try it out, try Ingrid with spread the word list as your default word list, and you're kind of ready to go to at least, start the process. It's the barrier to entry is really not that high these days, which is great because we get more people doing it, more voices, and that's always fun to see.
It's yeah, it's like a golden age of crossword construction, as you know, has been discussed and all over the place ad infinitum, between so many smart people moving into the crossword world, people of all types during the COVID pandemic when they had time on their hands. A lot of people started, a lot of beginner constructors tried their hand, but also with the software that's out there these days, it's so much easier. I mean, to grab a piece of
I should say also Crosserville is the other main choice other than Ingrid. If you want a good free crossword, construction tool, Crosserville also comes recommended. I just prefer Ingrid. It's sort of like the interface and the options just kind of like do what I want it to do. So I've stuck with that, but I've heard good things of people using Crosserville as well. So
I was chatting with the Ingrid software maker.
right, yet another Ryan,
Well,
right?
I was going to say he's one of the Ryans. It's like the Corys, among the boy bands, or like the teen idols. But yeah, there were at the American Crossword Puzzle Tournament, I think like 70% of the people there were named Ryan or something, and they were all under age 30. Yeah, but what a great guy. I forget his last name. It's such a nice. Is it the guy who writes Ingrid? What's his name? Give him a.
Is it Ryan Fitzgerald or Ryan?
That sounds right. I knew it was something like of
I
Irish
think
origin.
that's the right
What a
Ryan.
what a super nice guy.
Be corrected in the chat if I got the wrong Ryan.
Exactly. Yeah, just a lovely guy. All right. Well, thank you, Ingrid, and to some extent Ben, for this great puzzle. No, as neat. I've heard raves about Ingrid, but Crosserville as well. I hear people mention that too. But hey, someone's got to write them. Someone's got to solve them, and I'm so glad that we've got people like Ben who are great at both. Let's see. It's 11:37 p.m. Eastern for Ben and those who are up super late. Ben, we get people in here regularly from like Ireland and Scotland, and maybe
Just
they're
waking up.
yeah. Right. Well, our friend Bill and others down in like I have regular people who come in here from New Zealand and Australia too, which is great. But yeah, I think you've been more than generous with your time, as have all of you in the chat. Thank you for hanging with me. Look, we did 2 puzzles in an hour and 40 minutes. Is that a good pace?
It's about the good banter and the chat and everything. It's, pace. Who cares about pace? We had a good time.
It turns out it was the friends we made along the way.
There you go.
No, this is great. Really enjoyed both of your puzzles. And hey, to those in the chat, please follow me because we do these streams here a couple times a week. We also play Only Connect games, homemade games of the British game show that we all love so much. It may be that Ben and I are going to very soon have more time to play Only Connect because our arc through. Wait, are we done if we lose to our friend Yogesh, or are there more games?
We probably have a placement game after that, just some sort of consolation match for whatever order in the top 8 we might happen to be.
It sounds good. No, it's like, and then like, I don't know. Over the last few years, I've been so clueless about. I didn't even know where to find like the scoreboard or the results page or whatever. But yeah, like it's when I just hear that letting us play another game, I'm happy. And then like there's a final, but you can play that like among your friends. Or I think Pam Mueller or Daniel Judas come on and like presided over a final that like we didn't play because we weren't good enough, but it was still fun to play the material. Anyway,
Do it as a friendly, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we play Only Connect here. We do crosswords, trivia. Our friend Ravenite in the chat box has his next set ready to go, and I kind of pushed him off between work and travel commitments and other stuff going on here. But it's been a few weeks now since we played Only Connect, so it also takes me time to put a game together, putting all the people in the seats and promoting it or whatever. Yeah, Ravenite. Oh my God, Ravenite. The mere mention of the word Ravenite woke him up from a light nap during the stream, but. Yeah, so we'll in the next couple of weeks, hopefully we'll tee it up. maybe even with some of our friends who we saw on the ACPT wrap-up stream we just did here the other night. Can we entice Will Shorts to play Only Connect on my stream? That would be unlikely but fun. But he
I,
was
you
pretty.
know, I did actually manage, like, this was during the pandemic or whatever, to entice Will Shorts to go on Webster's War of the Words, which was this fundraiser for the Noah Webster House, where there was like, a 3-on-3 battle over, word trivia. And so he did appear on a competitive Zoom stream like that once, but maybe never to happen again.
Yeah. Well, he won like the US Open of crosswords. He won like some like crossword competition, and I think like went out a winner and retired permanently in like 1981 from like competing in like crossword stuff. But no, so Will was nice enough to make a surprise appearance in our talk show wrapping up the crossword tournament, and like a trooper hung around for the whole like couple hours. So I mean I
That
will
was a great
invite
stream.
everybody who was on that stream to play Only Connect, because I always do that. Whenever someone hosts, I invite them back immediately. So
If anyone missed that ACPT wrap up stream, go back and watch the VOD, because it was really nice. There were so many great interactions. First you were breaking the news that ACPT may end up in Philadelphia next year, because that was Will Shorts and Michael Smith discussing that at the top of the show. But then at the end, bringing Will back, and these very nice moments with Paolo, where Will's talking about how great it is having Paolo at the tournament, and it was lovely, really
thanks,
nice.
Ben. Thanks. I was thrilled with how well it went. Well, for one thing, I learned, this was my fourth time doing this. I didn't even attend 3 years ago. That was the first like wrap-up show we did. I would stick a camera on like Paolo and Ross Trudeau and Robin Weintraub all at the same time, and like ask them questions individually. So there was no like crosstalk. So each of them kind of patiently sat there for 2/3 of the time while I talked to the other. And it clearly made more sense to bring people on individually. But yeah, we had Tracy Bennett, talked about Wordle, but also about judging the tournament. Then we had Alina Abidi and Peter Gordon. Now, all these people are also great crossword writers, but talking about solving. I was flattered that as everyone like in turn like finished their interview, nobody left the Zoom. Like everybody hung out,
Yeah.
which was great, because then Will Shorts was still there toward the end, and like I'm chatting with Paolo, and then Will comes on, and I'm like, this is, I mean, it's like bringing in you know like Jordan and Phil Jackson and sitting back and letting them talk to each other, whatever. It was just great. I was delighted with our lineup, and people were super interesting, and yeah, it was Ben, as unawkward and smooth of a job as we did with the Orca Awards. This one was even smoother.
Yeah, orcas. Yeah, no, that is the orcas still in your Twitch history, or
I'm
has that
I'm so glad you asked. It was February 24th, and they stick around for 60 days. So
okay?
bear with me. Well, I think it may have literally fallen off there in the last couple days, but never you worry, Benjamin, because here, I'm gonna mute this. I have recently set up a YouTube channel featuring what we will extremely loosely call the best of this stream, and the Orcas is on there. So
Fantastic. All right. So that
yeah,
will be memorialized along with your ACPT wrap up on YouTube. You just
exactly.
won't get the Twitch comments, the chat as part of that.
Right. You beat me to saying it. So now if I were really sharp, what I would do is like, I mean, I guess I have OBS like software. It's so easy to stream from Zoom. For those people who put the ongoing like rolling chat box onto the actual screen, then that's on there forever because it's part of the video.
Oh, yeah.
But I was going to say, for those of you who haven't yet watched the stream, the ACPT wrap-up stream, click the link that Ben just put in the chat, because then you will get the full experience of watching. I mean, we had dozens of people in the chat box and a bunch of people asking questions and talking to each other, and it adds to it, like tonight. And it's very watchable without the stream, but it's better with it. And it's too late to catch the stream on the Orca Awards, which of course was also great, but you can still catch it for the wrap-up show. All right, Ben. Well, even as I said, it was like 10:37 or 11:30, whatever. Now it's a quarter to midnight. Thank you, Ben, for hanging this long. I know that wasn't our original plan. Of course, my plan was to like not struggle on your puzzle. So crazy things happen, but no, this is great. Always love having you on. And everybody in the chat, I'm not going to rattle off all the names, but look at all these great people who chatted tonight. Thank you one and all for joining us. Ben, to not just Ben, but to everybody as we playing you COQL this week, I wish you good fortune in the wars to come. So Ben, I'll be seeing you in the next few days whenever we schedule our game. And my next crossword stream will be possibly that night. I guess because you mentioned for those who weren't here, Ben and I have a only connect game in our league playoffs against a guy who is on national TV playing like the Jeopardy Masters tournament. So like that's a scary premonition of what will be
Against Victoria Gross and Brad Rutter in a knockout game on Wednesday night.
those beginners. It's crazy. So anyway, so I got, maybe it'll be Tuesday or Thursday that we play our only connect game. But in any event, I don't do a very good job of announcing in advance when the next stream is. I don't always know it myself. But hopefully, before the end of the week, we'll do this again. And Ben will be back presiding over me solving, a word find that he made.
That's my next challenge. Yeah, gotta
Ben, you're overdue to come on here and do some downs only solving with me. I know I impose on your time a lot, but that would be fun. I do downs only both solo and with friends, and there's no better guest than you. So maybe we'll do that one of these weeks.
All right.
All right, cool. Thanks, Ben. Thanks everybody.
See ya.
All right, have a good night, everybody.